Hey, so we're in day 9 of 31 Days of Horror and still going strong. I've got a Luigi Cozzi movie tonight. Luigi Cozzi, the maker of Star Crash, Hercules, Contamination, Black Cat, and a bunch of other movies. The Killer Must Kill Again. I've got his movie Blood on Million Moon, which is one of his more recent productions. And this is the first proper DIY movie I'm reviewing this month. Blood on Million Moon is Cozzi self-producing his own feature film with his own homemade resources and his friends as cast and crew. And of course, he being Luigi Cozzi, he has some pretty cool friends. So you have people like Dario Argento, Lamberto Bava show up in cameos. There is a few people, there is this actress from Suspiria, there are a few people like Antonio Tentori. These are like people who are like journalists or film historians based around Rome. Let's talk a little bit about this movie's plot. I'll just read you the back blurb. It's a bilingual blurb on this DVD. History tells us that in 1890 in France, the inventor Louis Le Prince, after patenting a machine for filming images in movement and projecting them on a screen, disappeared in mysterious circumstances. But suddenly, in 2016 Rome, a threshold onto other worlds gets open, and from a parallel world it comes the answer to the Le Prince disappearance. So you get the quality, the sense of this movie's quality right here. It's a pretty talky movie, but it's not slow or boring. There is a lot of narration in this film, Blood on Million Moon. And this DVD here has 3 subtitle options. The movie is, since it's set in Rome, everybody speaks Italian and there is no English dub provided, thankfully. English subs are alright. They're a bit too small. If your player can enlarge subtitles, this might help. There are even some extras on this DVD, some behind the scenes, you could call them like a making of segment where Cozzi and his regular special effects, visual effects guy talk about this film's genesis. So going back to the story of Blood on Million Moon, this movie is so chock full of ideas which are being thrown at you and they're never really explored or half explored, but they're all exciting ideas. The movie starts with our planet exploding. So there is this meteorite. It's all CGI. There is that orange ball kind of traveling through space, and it crashes into our planet and it explodes, and that's the beginning. Then there is a narration saying our planet just died, but was it really our planet? And this is just the start. Before the story proper kicks in, we get this whole montage of basically from birth of cinema through to its inauguration by the Lumiere brothers, what I just read you from the blurb. It's very enthusiastic, and there is this beautiful Photoshop-like collage of like roast-room photographs with some funky space background, and it's all overlaid with music. Then there are those epic opening credits. There is this blood red letters, a Luigi Cozzi production, so it's you know, it gets you kind of in the mood for the movie. And there is this seance, and we see within minutes of the movie we have a person vomiting, we have references to Luigi Cozzi's other films, we get clips from Hercules, we get sound bits from Contamination, we get a stabbing, we get a look at the basement museum of Profondo Rosso shop in Via dei Gracchi. We see Cozzi himself play himself. There is just so much going on. I'm just describing the first 10, 12, 15 minutes. This movie runs way over 90 minutes. It's like something like, here it says 111 minutes. I think they mean just the feature itself, and then there are extras. So it's a pretty long movie by Cozzi standards. It's intense. I could imagine that Blood on Million Moon would have made a magnificent web series, like a YouTube series. You could have cut it up into like 12-minute segments and had like 10 of those chapters, for example. That would have been good, because it does get overwhelming at some point, because there are so many things being thrown at you at every turn, and they don't always sum up so exactly. So you do get this feeling of being slightly bamboozled as the movie progresses. But there is also lots of fun there, And it's a film made with so much enthusiasm, with so much heart. It reminded me a lot of Cozzi's earlier film, which was Il tunnel sotto il mondo, which was based on I think it was a Frederik Pohl story, I may be mistaken. It's a short story, and Cozzi made this movie in Milan when he was a teenager with a borrowed 16mm camera. They made this like 1 hour movie, and that was like an art house backyard epic. And Blood on Million Moon is like same level of enthusiasm as a 16-year-old kid playing around with his camera, but this is from a guy who's a legend, who's a veteran of Italian genre cinema. So it's great to see that his love, his enthusiasm, his passion for cinema has not waned, has not diminished with years. Now we're with digital, now Italian cinema is more or less dead and gone and decayed, but Luigi Cozzi is still there, and he's such a knowledgeable guy. If you're ever in Rome, go and say hello, buy something from him and talk to him. He knows so much about literature and cinema. The guy he's like a professor of cinema without, well, he probably is a professor of cinema. I think he teaches in Rome. I think he gives like workshops and master classes at some film schools there. But anyway, the guy is so there. I mean, he really knows his stuff, and that includes also science fiction books. And he's met so many cool people in his life. When you see the pictures there in the shop, the people he's met, it's ridiculous. Even people like Forrest Ackerman, Alice Cooper, I mean, lots of people. The movie though, Blood on a Million Moon, this is of course a very special film. Sound quality is all over the place, image quality is variable. It was shot on a variety of camcorders, maybe some of it with cell phones, so it's quite jittery, so there is a lot of blatantly footage that could have done with a bit of stabilizing or a tripod. So Blood on a Million Moon evidently doesn't have the budget of like a James Cameron movie. It's, like I said, it's a self-funded, you could say it's like a very well-intentioned amateur film. It's bristling with some witty little vignettes. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense as a whole. In many ways it's a mess, but it's a lovable mess, and I'm really pleased I got to discover this film. And although I cannot recommend it to everyone, if you're a seasoned trash fan, if you're if you're a physical media enthusiast, Blood on a Million Moon is pretty amazing, because you get to see lots of vintage paperbacks. You see you're like inside the store, the Profondo Rosso store with Luigi Cozzi. You get all those amazing artifacts he's got there, and some really cheap joke shop masks. We even visit like a factory where they mass produce those masks that end up being sold at Luigi's shop. How the film ends, I mean, it does sort of end, but does it wrap things up? I can't tell you, because I got really overwhelmed by the visuals, and there is, the whole movie through, there is music playing, so it's really layered with music, and I'm not sure where that music came from. Some of it sounded really, really epic, and I don't think it was just GarageBand, or standard cues either, so could have been some library tracks there, I wonder. Blood on a Million Moon has a few gory kills, and there is some practical effects there, like there is a nice throat slashing and some blood, and there is tons and tons of very, very lame and crappy CGI, which is kind of on the level of 90s TV shows like Xena or Hercules, I don't know, or those kind of cable movies, where they would have like asteroids on, if you remember like Langoliers and things like that. It has that level of CGI, very, very unconvincing, but there is tons of it, and there is also a lot of chromatic aberrations throughout the film, so there is like layers in post-productions to make it look, punch the colors up and distort them. So you can see it's like edited by like a 14-year-old kid who's had too much coke, and he's like happy applying all those various overlays and tries speeding footage up. So it's really undisciplined and quite enjoyable, because it doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is. A bit of fun, really. It's very clear that Qudsi knows his cinema, loves cinema, and has plenty to say about its origins and mysteries that lay there. And he takes advantage of what he's got at hand to tell a little bit about his passion. So even though this film fails as a traditional maybe narrative, but it does communicate plenty of things, and does it in a very direct, unpretentious way. So there is just narration, and there is suitable visuals to accompany it. So even though I really love this film, I don't think it's going to be like a massive hit with audiences, because well, it's quite modest, yeah, and I don't think it had like a big marketing campaign or anything. But I was really pleased to snap this DVD up. Blood on Melia Moon, Luigi Qudsi's 2015-2016 epic homemade science fiction giallo parable about this vagabond universe, with cameos by Dario Argento, Lamberto Bava, and a few other familiar faces, Antonio Tentori. Pretty unbelievable. So that was day 9 of 31 Days of Horror.